Let's talk about a feeling I know so many of you are familiar with right now. That cold, sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach, the frantic checking of your phone, the replaying of conversations in your head, wondering where it all went wrong. You can feel her pulling away, the interest fading, the connection weakening, and your every instinct, every fiber of your being is screaming at you to do something, to fix it, to try harder, to communicate more, to prove your worth, to beg. And that instinct is the very thing that is guaranteeing your failure. That desperation, that visible neediness is the ultimate repellent. It screams that you have no value outside of her validation. So you need to understand something crucial right now. Begging, pleading, and desperate persuasion will never, ever rebuild genuine attraction. It will only bury whatever remaining respect she had for you 6 feet under. Regaining a woman's interest is not about what you can say to change her mind. It's about what you can become to change her perception. It's a strategic, internal process that requires immense strength and discipline. It's about moving from a place of lack and need to a place of abundance and value, and it is done without a single ounce of begging. Here are the 3 steps to do it. Step 1, scene strategic withdrawal. Stop digging the hole. The very first thing you must do, and this is non-negotiable, is to stop everything you are currently doing. Every pleading text, every long emotional message, every checking in, call, every offer to just talk about it, it all stops. Right now, this is not a game. This is not playing hard to get. This is called stopping the bleeding. You have become a source of negative emotion for her. Your neediness is a weight. Your anxiety is a problem she feels she has to manage. Every time you reach out from this place of desperation, you are not reminding her of the good times. You are reinforcing her association of you with stress, pressure, and emotional drain. You are making it easier for her to justify pulling away. The strategic withdrawal is a conscious, dignified decision to remove that negative energy from her life. You are not storming off in a dramatic huff. You are not announcing your departure. You are simply ceasing all pursuit. You go silent on social media, not blocking her, but stopping the constant viewing of her stories and liking of her posts. You do not initiate contact. This does 2 critical things. First, it immediately halts the negative reinforcement. You stop being the source of the problem. Second, and more importantly, it creates space. It allows her to experience your absence. Humans are wired to notice the absence of something that was once a constant presence. The silence will be deafening, and it will force her to wonder, why is he so calm? What is he doing? Is he really just moving on? This absence disrupts her expected narrative of you as the desperate ex and creates a vacuum of curiosity. You are not punishing her. You are giving both of you the breathing room required for the dynamic to reset. This step alone is the hardest because it requires you to fight every desperate instinct you have. But it is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Step to invite. The radical rebuild, become the man she first fell for. But better, this withdrawal period is not for sitting by the phone and waiting. That is just silent begging. This time has a single, focused purpose to become a man who is so engrossed in his own life that he doesn't have time to be obsessed with hers. You must use this period for a radical reconstruction of your identity. This means going back to the fundamentals. It means hitting the gym, not to get ripped for her, but to release endorphins, rebuild your confidence, and reclaim ownership of your physical vessel. It means immersing yourself in your work or your mission with a ferocious intensity. Remember the goals you had before you met her, the business you wanted to start, the skill you wanted to learn, the project you abandoned. Now is the time to attack them with everything you have. Reconnect with your friends, not to complain about her, but to genuinely reconnect, laugh, go on trips, have adventures. Rebuild your social circle so that your happiness is not dependent on one person. Fill your time so completely with growth, passion, purpose that there is simply no mental space left to obsess over her text messages. This is not about faking it. This is about genuinely rebuilding your self-worth from the ground up. You are not doing this for her, you are doing this for you. And that is the key. The energy you emit when you are building a life you love is fundamentally different from the energy you emit when you are trying to win someone back. One is attractive, confident, and full of purpose. The other is needy, insecure, and empty. You are becoming the man she first became attracted to, confident, independent with his own life, but you are leveling him up. You are becoming a version 2.0 that is even more grounded, more purposeful, and more emotionally stable. This step is about generating your own value, so that if she ever does re-enter your orbit, you are not a beggar seeking validation, you are a king considering an invitation. Step 3Z, the confident re-entry, the invitation, not the pursuit after a significant period of radio silence and genuine self-improvement. We're talking weeks, not days. You may have an opportunity to re-enter her awareness. This is not the time to declare your love. This is the time to demonstrate your change, not announce it. The re-entry is subtle, indirect, and must be devoid of any need for a specific outcome. The first and most powerful method is through social proof. Be seen living a great life. This isn't about staged photos. It's about genuine moments. You with your friends at an event, you achieving a goal, you looking healthy and happy in a photo someone else tags you in. When she sees that you are not just okay, but actually thriving without her, it fundamentally challenges her perception of you. It makes her think, wait, he's not broken. He's actually doing better than ever. Did I make a mistake? If you are going to initiate direct contact, it must be done with a completely new energy. The message is not, I miss you. It is not, can we talk? It is a simple, light, and value offering communication based on a genuine shared interest. For example, if you both love a specific band, you might send a link to a new song and say, hey, heard this, and it reminded me of that concert we saw. Hope you're well. That's it. No follow-up questions, no pressure. The goal is to open a door, not to barge through it. You are signaling that you are thinking of her from a place of abundance and calmness, not lack and desperation. The most powerful thing you can do is then to issue a simple, low pressure and specific invitation. I'm going to that new art exhibit on Saturday afternoon. A few of us are heading over. You're welcome to join if you're free. This is not a date proposal. It is an invitation into your new full life. It is casual. It has an exit strategy. Your friends are there. And it places the ball entirely in her court. Your energy must be that you would have a great time whether she shows up or not. This confident indifference, this lack of investment in the outcome, is the ultimate display of your new found value. You are not begging for her interest. You have become a man who is interesting enough that she might just choose to rediscover you for herself. The choice now is hers. And you, because you have rebuilt yourself, will be perfectly fine either way. The most critical, immediate, and counterintuitive step you must take is also the most difficult. When you feel her interest waning, your primal instinct is to close the gap, to pursue harder, to communicate more, to double down on your efforts in a frantic attempt to prove your value and re-establish the connection. You are trying to fix a leak by pouring more water into the bucket, and you are baffled as to why you're still getting wet. You must understand that the very energy of pursuit, when it is born from a place of fear and desperation, is the exact energy that confirms her decision to pull away. It is the ultimate validation that you are not the grounded, high-value man she desires. Therefore, the first and most non-negotiable step is the strategic withdrawal. This is not a manipulative tactic. It is a strategic necessity to stop the bleeding and change the entire energy of the interaction. A strategic withdrawal is a conscious, dignified, complete cessation of all pursuit. It means you stop initiating contact. The good morning texts that go unanswered, they stop. The long, heartfelt paragraphs explaining your feelings and begging for another chance, they are deleted, not sent. The calls that go to voicemail, you do not make them. You must become a ghost in your own former life of desperation. This is not done with anger or as a punishment. It is executed with the quiet resolve of a man who has finally recognized that his current strategy is not only failing, but is actively making the situation worse. Every attempt to reach out from a place of neediness is another shovel of dirt on the coffin of her attraction for you. It reinforces her association of you with anxiety, pressure, and emotional need, qualities that are the antithesis of attraction. This withdrawal serves two profound psychological purposes. First, it immediately halts the negative reinforcement. You are no longer providing her with daily reminders of why she lost interest. You remove the burden of your neediness from her shoulders. She is given mental and emotional space, often for the first time since the dynamic turned sour. The constant pressure valve is released. Second, more importantly, it creates a vacuum of curiosity. Human psychology is wired to notice the absence of a once constant stimulus. Your persistent presence, however annoying, was a fixture. When it suddenly vanishes, it disrupts her expected narrative. The story in her head was that you were the desperate, predictable guy who would always be there, always trying. Your silent absence writes a new, unexpected chapter. She is left to wonder, why did he stop? Is he okay? Did he just move on? Is he seeing someone else? This curiosity is the first fragile spark you can work with. It is infinitely more powerful than any amount of pleading because it operates in the silence of her own mind, not in the noise of your desperate appeals. This step requires immense discipline. You will feel an almost physical urge to break the silence. You will rationalize it. I'll just send a funny meme, or I need to wish her a good luck on her presentation. You must resist these impulses. Any unforced contact during this period resets the clock and shatters the illusion of your newfound resolve. The strategic withdrawal is your first and most powerful declaration, not through words, but through silent, potent action that you finally understand the game. You are not chasing, you are stepping back, and in doing so, you are forcing the world to lean forward to see what you will do next. This silence is not empty. It is filled with the possibility of the man you are about to become. The strategic withdrawal creates a crucial vacuum, but nature abhors a vacuum. If you simply go silent and spend that time obsessing, waiting, and staring at your phone, you are not withdrawing. You are engaged in what can only be called silent begging. The energy of neediness will still radiate from you, and it will be felt the moment you break your silence. Therefore, the withdrawal period has a single non-negotiable purpose: the radical rebuild. This is the process of using that sacred space not to mourn the loss of her, but to passionately and relentlessly invest in the reclamation of yourself. You are not trying to win her back. You are building a man who wouldn't need to. This is not about superficial changes or crafting a persona to lure her in. This is a genuine, deep, and often uncomfortable excavation of your core identity. It begins with the physical vessel. You must reconnect with your body. The gym is not a punishment. It is your new temple. It is the place where you go to physically sweat out the anxiety, the insecurity, and the desperation. Every rep is a rep towards not just a better physique, but a more disciplined mind. The endorphins are a natural antidepressant. The progressive overload, lifting heavier, running faster, pushing further, is a tangible, measurable metaphor for your own growth. You are quite literally rebuilding yourself, piece by piece. The confidence that comes from seeing your own body transform is unshakable because it is earned, not given. Concurrently, you must reignite your mission. What were you passionate about before you became consumed by the relationship? What goals did you shelve? What business idea did you dismiss? What skill did you want to learn? Now is the time to attack these things with a ferocious intensity that leaves no room for self-pity. Your purpose is the central pillar of your identity. A man without a mission is a man who is empty, and an empty man has nothing to offer but his need. By becoming consumed by a goal that is bigger than your love life, you generate an intrinsic sense of value and self-worth. You stop looking for external validation because you are too busy validating yourself through tangible achievement. This rebuild must extend to your social world. Reconnect with your friends, not to gossip about her or dissect your breakup, to genuinely reconnect with the bonds that defined you before her. Laugh with them, go on adventures, be present, rebuild a social circle that is vibrant and fulfilling on its own terms. This serves two purposes. It reminds you that you are loved and valued outside of a romantic context, and it provides the crucial element of social proof. When you are seen living a full, happy, and engaging life without her, it shatters her perception of you as the lonely, heartbroken ex. It forces her to confront a new narrative that you are not just okay, but you are thriving. The radical rebuild is about generating your own light. You are ceasing to be a mirror, reflecting back whatever you think she wants to see. You are ceasing to be a satellite orbiting her world and drawing your energy from her attention. You are becoming your own sun, a source of light, energy, and gravity. You are not doing this for her, you are doing this for you. And that is the critical distinction. The energy of a man building a life he loves for himself is magnetic, confident, and attractive. The energy of a man building a life to impress a woman is needy, insecure, and transparent. This step is about becoming the man she first fell for, the man with a spark in his eye, his own friends, and his own dreams. But now, you are that man version 2.0 away, more disciplined, more purposeful, and emotionally independent. You are becoming the prize. After a significant period of genuine, transformative silence, a period measured not in days, but in weeks of consistent self-work, you may find yourself considering re-entry. This is the most delicate phase where countless men, feeling a surge of new confidence, make the fatal error of reverting to their old patterns and obliterating all their progress in a single, needy interaction. The confident re-entry is not about announcing your return. It is not a grand declaration of your change. It is a subtle, nuanced, and masterful demonstration of your new reality. Your entire approach must be governed by one principle: you are not pursuing, you are inviting. You are not a salesman trying to close a deal. You are a curator offering a glimpse into a more interesting world. This process begins indirectly, often before a single word is exchanged. The most powerful form of re-entry is through social proof. This is not about posting staged, boastful photos on social media. It is about authentically documenting the full life you are now living. A genuine photo tagged by friends at a meaningful event. A story that shows you learning a new skill or traveling to a new place. A simple picture where you look healthy, happy, and at peace. When she sees this, not through a direct message from you, but through the organic channels of social media or mutual friends, it fundamentally disrupts her existing narrative about you. The man she remembers was anxious and needy. The man she sees now appears grounded and content. This cognitive dissonance, the gap between her memory and your current reality, is what triggers the first flicker of renewed curiosity. She is forced to ask herself, what happened to him? He looks different. He looks better. This is a question you could never have answered convincingly with words if and when you choose to initiate direct contact. The approach must be radically different. The energy you channel is one of calm, casual assumption, not hopeful desperation. The message is not, I've changed, can we talk? This is the language of the old you, seeking validation. The new communication is light, value-based, references a shared positive memory or interest without dwelling on the past. For example, if you both loved a specific author, you might see they have a new book out. A message could be, hey, saw author's name, just released a new book. It reminded me of how much you loved their last one. Hope you're doing well. The tone is friendly, unburdened, and has no hidden agenda. It's an observation, not a plea. You are not asking a question that demands a response. You are simply making a statement and offering a benign well-wishing. This lack of pressure is disarming and intriguing. Ultimate goal of the re-entry is to issue a simple, specific, and low-pressure invitation. This is not a formal date, proposal laden with expectation. It is an invitation into your new world. For instance, a few of us are checking out that new exhibition at the Modern on Saturday. I remember you're into that artist. You're welcome to join if you're free. This is powerful for several reasons. It's casual idol, a few of us. It's based on a genuine shared interest. It has a built-in exit strategy. Your friends are there, so it's not an intense one-on-one. Most importantly, it places the choice entirely in her hands. Your energy must be that you will have a fantastic Saturday regardless of her answer. This confident in indifference, this demonstration that your happiness is not contingent on her presence, is the ultimate display of your transformed value. You are not begging for her interest. You have become a man of such interest that she is now faced with a simple choice to accept an invitation into your orbit or not. The power dynamic has been permanently shifted. The ball is and will remain in her court. Before a single strategy is employed, before a single text is sent or withheld, there is a fundamental truth that must be accepted, a truth so core that every other step is built upon its foundation. You cannot regain a woman's interest by focusing on her. The very attempt to manipulate her feelings, to craft the perfect message, to engineer a scenario that will make her want you back, is born from the same needy, externalized mindset that caused the disinterest in the first place. It is putting a bandage on a bullet wound. True, lasting change, the kind that not only attracts her, but more importantly, makes you a man who doesn't need that attraction to feel whole, begins with an inward journey. The first and most critical step is not about her at all. It is about you. It is the foundation of self-restoration, the deliberate, often painful process of withdrawing your energy from the external world and pouring it relentlessly back into yourself. This begins with a complete and total energy withdrawal. Every ounce of mental, emotional, spiritual capital you have been spending on her, the obsessive thoughts, the anxiety, the frantic plotting, must be recalled. Imagine your energy as a currency. You have been bankrupting yourself, sending all your reserves to her in a desperate attempt to buy her affection, only to find the exchange rate is terrible and you are left with nothing. It is time to declare financial sovereignty. This means going cold turkey on the mental habits that are poisoning you. It means catching yourself when you start to ruminate on the past and consciously redirecting your thoughts to the present moment. It means deleting her number if you have to, or at least archiving the chats so you are not constantly rereading them, picking at the scab of the relationship. This is not about her. It is about stopping your own self-harm. With that energy now flowing back into you, the real work begins, the reconstruction of your inner world. This is a dual process of dismantling and building. You must first dismantle the identity of the needy, desperate man. You must confront the insecurities that drove your behavior. Why did you feel you had to constantly seek validation? What core belief about your own inadequacy was being triggered? This is uncomfortable. Introspective work, but it is essential. You cannot build a stable structure on a cracked foundation. Simultaneously, you must begin building anew. This starts with the most tangible element, your physical self. Your body is the vessel for your new identity. The gym, or any physical discipline, becomes your sanctuary. It is not about getting ripped for her. It is about the visceral, daily act of reclaiming control. Every drop of sweat is a purification ritual, washing away the helplessness. Every ache in your muscle is a reminder that you are capable of enduring difficulty and emerging stronger. The discipline required to show up every day, especially when you don't want to, forges a new self-respect that no amount of external praise can ever provide. This internal restoration then expands outward into your purpose. You must reconnect with your mission. What did you care about before the relationship consumed you? What goals did you abandon? Re-engage with your work not as a job, but as a craft to be mastered. Pour yourself into a project that is yours and yours alone. This mission becomes your new focal point. The sun around which your planets orbit. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning that is independent of anyone else's affection. This process, from energy withdrawal to physical reconstruction to purposeful realignment, is the non-negotiable foundation. Without it, any attempt to regain her interest is a hollow performance. With it, you are no longer a man trying to win back a woman. You are a whole man, secure in his own value, who may choose to see if she would like to be a part of his world. The power in that shift is immeasurable. In the painful aftermath of a loss of interest, every instinct you have is wrong. Your biology, your fear, your ego, they all scream at you to act, to fix, to close the gap, to communicate your pain, your love, your promises. You are convinced that if you can just find the right words, the right grand gesture, you can logic her back into feeling something. This is a critical delusion. You cannot negotiate desire. You cannot debate attraction. The very act of trying is the most potent confirmation that you are not the strong, grounded man she desires. Therefore, the most powerful and counterintuitive first move you can make is also the simplest stop. The mandatory strategic withdrawal is not a game or a tactic. It is a critical surgical procedure to stop the infection of neediness from spreading and to create the necessary conditions for healing and reassessment. This withdrawal is a complete and total ceasefire in your campaign to win her back. It means no initiation of contact. You do not text, call, the good morning texts, the how was your day check-ins, the funny memes, they all cease. No reactive communication. If she does reach out, especially with something mundane or breadcrumb, like you respond with polite, brief, and unemotional answers. You do not use it as an opportunity to launch into your feelings or to ask probing questions. You are friendly but closed. No digital loitering. You stop watching her social media stories. You stop liking her posts. You stop analyzing her every online move through a lens of what it might mean about you. You become a ghost in her digital world. This is not done with anger or as a punishment. It is executed with the quiet dignity of a man who has finally realized that his current efforts are not only failing, but are actively making the situation worse. Every attempt to reach out from a place of neediness is another negative data point she files away. It reinforces her association of you with anxiety, pressure, and emotional drain, the exact qualities that smother attraction. The withdrawal serves two profound psychological purposes that are impossible to achieve while you are actively pursuing. First, halts the negative reinforcement. You are a source of negative emotion for her. Your desperation is a weight. By going silent, you immediately remove that weight from her shoulders. The constant pressure valve is released. For the first time, she can breathe without the background noise of your anxiety. This absence allows her negative emotional association with you to begin fading, rather than being constantly refreshed by your attempts to connect. Second, and more importantly, it creates a vacuum of curiosity. Human psychology is inextricably wired to notice the absence of a once constant stimulus. Your presence, however annoying, was predictable. Your sudden, calm, and complete silence is not. It disrupts her expected narrative of you as the desperate, predictable guy who would always be there. This disruption forces a recalculation. She is left to wonder. Why did he stop? Is he okay? Did he just move on? This curiosity is the first fragile spark you can work with. It is a question she asks herself in the quiet moments, and it is infinitely more powerful than any question you could ever ask her directly. It operates in the silence of her own mind, making her an active participant in the process of re-evaluation rather than a passive recipient of your appeals. This silent space is where old memories can resurface and new questions can form. It is the fertile ground in which the smallest seed of doubt about her decision can potentially take root. But none of this is possible if you are constantly trampling over that ground with your desperate footsteps. The void left by the strategic withdrawal cannot remain empty. Nature abhors a vacuum. And if you simply go silent and spend that time in a state of anxious waiting, you are not withdrawing, you are engaged in a form of silent begging. The energy of neediness will still emanate from you, and it will be palpable the moment any contact is resumed. Therefore, the period of silence has one singular, non-negotiable purpose: to facilitate a radical rebuild. This is the process of systematically dismantling the identity of the guy who wants her back and architecting a new identity. A man defined by his purpose, his mission, and his unshakable sense of self-worth. You are not trying to win her back. You are building a man who is so complete that her interest becomes a potential bonus, not a life-saving necessity. This transformation is the very heart of regaining attraction. A man of a woman derives his entire identity, value, and emotional stability from the relationship. His mood fluctuates with her texts. His goals are secondary to her schedule. His opinions are malleable to avoid conflict. He is, in essence, a satellite orbiting her world and drawing all his light from her presence. This is inherently unattractive because it signals profound weakness and a lack of core identity. There is nothing to respect. Because there is no solid core to respect, you must become a man of purpose. This is a man whose primary relationship is with his mission. His mission is the central axis around which his entire life rotates. This mission is not his job title. It is his passion, his craft. The thing he is building that is bigger than himself. It could be mastering a skill, building a business, achieving a physical transformation, creating art, or deepening his intellectual pursuits. This mission is what gets him out of bed in the morning with a fire in his belly, not a pit of anxiety in his stomach. It consumes his focus and demands his discipline. This shift in focus is everything. When you are consumed by a purpose, you stop being a consumer of validation. You are no longer constantly looking outward for someone to make you feel okay. You are looking inward and forward at the problem you are solving or the thing you are creating. This generates a powerful, intrinsic self-worth that is completely independent of any romantic relationship. You begin to validate yourself through your own actions and achievements. The confidence that comes from this is authentic and unshakable because it is earned, not begged for. This energy is magnetically attractive. A man on a mission is focused, driven, and passionate. He has stories to tell that aren't about her. He has a life that is already full and compelling. He doesn't need a woman to complete him. He is already complete. This makes his attention a valuable commodity. When he offers his time, is not out of desperation, but out of genuine choice. He is not a needy supplicant. He is a king in his own castle, considering who he might allow to enter his world. This is the ultimate power shift. You stop trying to convince her to let you into her world and instead become a man who has built a world so desirable that she wonders if she might be invited into yours. The work, the gym, the goals, they are not a performance for her benefit. They are the tools you use to build a man who is himself the prize. That is the only thing that truly regains lasting interest.